Hello and welcome to the Classroom Command Center overview. My name is Bill and I'll be guiding you through this demo today. We're going to get started by logging in as a teacher, finding and assigning some content to students. So you can see I'm picking my course. I'm looking for the unit and the lesson that I want to teach today. I'm going to make that the active lesson, and that is going to determine where the students land when they log in. And I'm simply going to drag and drop the pretest and assign it to my class. I have my rules set to on in this case. Logging in now as the student to complete the pretest. The student will land exactly where the teacher assigned them to, Unit 1, Lesson 13 in this case. And you can see that the pretest is illuminated. That icon, by clicking on it, takes me into the learning management system, and I can complete the activity there directly. There's 3 questions on the pretest. They escalate through depth of knowledge 1, 2, and 3. That's going to give the teacher some good information, some formative data on where her students enter the lesson for this particular topic. So as a student here, I'll complete those 3 questions. These are technology enhanced questions, so students will be dragging and dropping, organizing information, classifying, categorizing, ordering. Those kind of activities are very prevalent in the assessment system. Same thing happens for other students in the class, and the teacher will have that data on their dashboard, as you'll see here in a moment. I'm going to log back in as the teacher. I'm going to switch over to a different tab at the top called Manage Class. And since I had my rules turned on, we'll be able to see that the students, based on their pretest results, have automatically been grouped. Some students haven't completed the pretest yet. Other students have different results, and those results have determined both which group they are in the blue dots there, which content has been assigned to them based on the rules that the teacher set ahead of time. This interface also allows you to assign content to individual groups of students. So even though this content has been assigned automatically, you can still assign content manually, as I will show you here for this particular student, Liam. Assigning him the video, the introduction, the DOK1 section, etc. By assigning that content, that will go just to the students in that group, which in this case is just Liam. I'm going to log back in as a student and actually work through the video. The video component is not a streaming video for 5, 6, 7 minutes. It actually stops along the way and asks the students questions. So I'm going to click on the video icon here. You can see that the content was automatically assigned to the student based upon those pretest rules, those performance rules. Clicking on the video here is going to open up the first clip. The first clip is typically the longest clip, and the student will watch that material, listen to that material read aloud to them, narrated by a human being, and presenting information, in this case about expressions and equations and terms and factors in this particular math lesson. The students can't fast forward, but I will fast forward here so we can move through a little more quickly, and we'll see that the student will get a question here posed to them on the screen. How they react to this question will determine the next clip. If they get it right, they're going to get a more advanced clip. If they miss this question, they'll get a more remedial clip. And that process continues throughout the video until they complete between 4 and 8 clips.
Sometimes factors do not appear as factors in the traditional sense because they involve addition or subtraction. In these cases, the value involving addition and subtraction is one factor that is expressed as one or more unknowns.
I'm going to move on and complete the rest of the lesson activities that have been assigned to this particular student. Next clip down, or the next piece down, is called the introduction. So I'll click on that icon. The introduction has a very clear statement of objective. In this case, students will demonstrate the difference between terms and factors. There's a short introduction to give the students some background information on the topic. And then we ask the students to strategize through a metacognitive prompt. Think about how they're going to approach this lesson. There's 3 separate instructional sections in each lesson. In this case, I'm doing an example of one of those. We call them the DOK sections, depth of knowledge sections. Students get a short, chunked piece of instruction here. In this case, identifying terms and factors and the different components of what that means. So they'll read a little bit of content, they'll work through a couple examples, and then we're going to give them a question to complete. And this is where that formative data continues to flow to the teacher throughout the lesson. I'll complete this as a student. And I'll submit. The students will get immediate feedback here. They'll see if they've answered anything correctly, incorrectly, give them some hints along the way if they do miss anything. And then we'll go back over and see that we were successful there with our green dot, and we'll complete the summary quickly. Summary is typically a paragraph to just summarize the content from the lesson, tie it all back to the learning objective. And there's my green dot. So now I'm going to go back in over as the teacher, and I want to see how that data is represented from the teacher perspective and allow me an opportunity to personalize a little further for the student and see if this particular student is ready to move on in the lesson to maybe the graded daily assignment, or if they need a little more support. So now I'm going to click on Class Overview. It gives me more of a roster view. I can see all of the students' information in one place. I can see that one student here, Lucy, has not really progressed through and completed the activities yet beyond the video and the introduction. But Kristen has progressed through, and she has some good data there, and it looks like she is ready, because I see those green dots, ready for the daily assignment. So I'm going to drag that up just to Kristen, and this will only assign this particular learning object to Kristen. I debated on giving her the post-test, and I initially dragged it there, and then I changed my mind, and by clicking on it, I can remove that assignment before I actually go up here and click the Assign button. Now that daily assignment has been assigned to Kristen, I can log back in as her and complete the assignment. The daily assignments consist of 6 questions. There'll be 1 5-point question and 5 1-point questions. The students receive a different quiz every time they take it. They do get 2 attempts unless the teacher gives them another retry. Quickly work through the assessment here. Again, the assessment is randomized, so the student will get different questions during each attempt, but every student will also get different questions assigned to them from a randomized pool of assessment items. Change my mind on that one. One more 1-point question here, and then we'll complete the 5-point question, which is multi-part, gives partial credit, so the student can get anywhere from a 0 to a 100 on this quiz in 10-point increments. Not real sure, so I'm just going to move on and submit my assessment. But even if I wasn't sure on that first attempt, I can review my results as they'll populate here for a student. And you can notice that there is a retake button down there that I could take this daily assignment in additional time and try to improve my score. Again, I will get different questions if I retake the assignment here. Finally, I can go in as a teacher and review those exact results that the student just saw. Perhaps they retook the assessment, and now I can go in and see that last attempt that they took. To do so, I'll go back over to Class Overview, and I'll simply click on the activity. Kristen scored an 80%, and I can go and see exactly which questions she got right, which ones she got wrong, and I can remediate as necessary with the student. So this is a typical experience between a teacher and a student using the Classroom Command Center. Lots of information coming to both parties, but especially the teacher can really have a good understanding of where her students are at any time and take the appropriate actions to make sure they're successful.